I wasn't meant to be home until 6 that evening.
Instead, it was 2:47 in the afternoon when my car rolled into our driveway.
One of the first things I noticed was that the front door wasn't locked. That alone made my stomach tighten. Emily locked that door out of habit. Every single time. Even if she was just stepping into the backyard. I eased the door open and stepped inside. "Emily?" I called out. Nothing came back.
I moved through the living room slowly. Her purse sat on the kitchen counter, right where she usually dropped it.
Her phone was next to it, face down.
The TV was off, which was unusual for her during the day.
Then I heard it.
A faint creak upstairs.
It could have been the house settling. Or it could have been someone trying very hard not to make a sound. "Emily?" I called again, louder this time.
There were footsteps now.
Quick ones.
Then her voice floated down, high and strained.
"Daniel? Why are you home early?"
She appeared at the top of the stairs a second later. Her hair was a mess, her cheeks flushed, and she was wearing a robe.
At 3 in the afternoon. On a Tuesday. "Work sent me home," I said, watching her closely. A pipe burst. Flooded half the building.
"Oh. That's too bad," she said. I started up the stairs. She didn't step aside. She just stood there, blocking the hallway like she was guarding something.
"You okay?" I asked. "Yeah. Fine," she said quickly. "I just wasn't expecting you."
When I reached the top step, I looked past her toward our bedroom. The door was half open. And the closet door, the one that never fully shut because the latch was broken, was moving.
Just barely. Swinging back and forth. Like it had been pushed a second ago. "Emily," I said quietly. "Why is the closet moving?"
All the color drained from her face.
"It's the AC vent," she said. "It does that sometimes."
I stared at her.
Really stared.
Her hands were shaking.
I stepped past her. She grabbed my arm. "Daniel, please. Don't."
I pulled free and pushed open the bedroom door.
The room looked wrong. Sheets twisted and bunched up. Pillows scattered on the floor. And the closet door had stopped moving completely. Too completely. I walked toward it.
"Daniel, please," she said again, her voice cracking.
I wrapped my hand around the handle.
"There's nothing in there," she said, almost sobbing now.
"I swear." I opened the door.
Pressed back against my hanging shirts, phone still in his hand like he'd been caught mid-text, stood a man I had never seen before in my life.
Shirtless. Jeans half-buttoned. His face locked in pure, terrified shock. For 3 full seconds, nobody moved. Then he spoke. "Hey, man, this isn't what it looks like." I stared at him. Then I looked at Emily. Then back at him. And I started laughing. Not angry laughter. Not bitter laughter.
The kind of laughter that comes out when your brain can't catch up with what your eyes are seeing.
"You're in my closet," I said. "Yeah," he said. "Hiding?" "Yeah." "In my closet?" He nodded. I looked at Emily. She was crying openly now. Mascara streaking down her face. Hands trembling. "How long?" I asked. "Daniel, please," she said. "Let me explain." "How long?" She swallowed hard. 6 months. 6 months.
I turned back to the guy still standing in my closet.
"What's your name?" "Lucas." "Lucas," I repeated, nodding once. "You have 10 seconds to get dressed and get out of my house." He didn't move. 10. He grabbed his shirt. 9. He fumbled with his shoes. 8. Emily was sobbing behind me.
"Daniel, please, let me explain."
7.
Lucas shoved past me, half-dressed, and bolted down the stairs.
A second later, the front door slammed shut.
I stood there in my bedroom with my wife behind me, the closet door still wide open.
And that's when something hit me. I wasn't angry. I felt relieved.
Because for 6 months, I'd been planning something Emily knew nothing about.
And Lucas had just made it a whole lot easier. If you want to know what I'd been planning and why I laughed when I should have been furious, hit subscribe.
Because what happened next turned her affair into the biggest mistake of her life.
My name is Daniel Carter.
I'm 39 years old.
I'm a systems engineer for a manufacturing company in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I work long hours. I travel when I need to. I make good money. Not rich, but comfortable. I've been married to Emily for 8 years. Or, I was married to Emily. Let me rewind for a moment.
6 months ago, around the same time her affair apparently started, something else happened.
My company got acquired. It wasn't hostile.
It was a clean corporate merger. The kind where they send out a cheerful press release and pretend everyone should be excited.
For most people, it just meant a new logo on their paycheck. For me, it meant something else entirely. Buried in my employment contract, the one I signed 7 years earlier, was a clause I'd completely forgotten about. Section 14.
3. Equity acceleration upon change of control. In plain English, it meant this: if the company was sold, my stock options vested immediately. I had 50,000 options priced at $2 a share. The acquisition price came in at $47 per share.
Do the math.
$2.25 million.
Before taxes. But still.
I was sitting in a conference room when HR explained it, reading off the details like it was a grocery list.
Your options will vest on the closing date. You'll have 90 days to exercise them. We recommend speaking with a financial advisor. I nodded. Smiled. Shook hands.
Then I went out to my car and sat there for 20 minutes, staring at the steering wheel. $2.25 million.
The kind of money that changes your life. The kind that lets you quit, travel, start over. The kind that makes you realize you actually have choices. And the first choice I made was this. I didn't tell Emily. Not because I didn't trust her. Or maybe exactly because I didn't.
Things had felt off for months.
She'd been distant. Distracted.
She started going to the gym constantly.
Bought new clothes. Changed her hair. All the classic signs.
I told myself I was imagining things. You're overthinking it, I'd say. She's just taking better care of herself.
But then came the late nights.
The girls' nights out that happened more and more often.
The way she'd angle her phone away when I walked into the room.
The way she started sleeping on the edge of the bed, like I was something she wanted distance from.
I didn't have proof. Just a feeling. And that feeling made me hesitate.
So when HR told me about the money, I decided to wait.
I'd watch. And I'd see what happened.
I started paying attention.
Not in a creepy way. Just noticing patterns.
I noticed she wore perfume to the gym. I noticed her girls' nights always landed on Tuesdays and Thursdays, the same nights I worked late. I noticed she bought lingerie I'd never seen her wear.
One night, I checked the credit card statement. There it was.
A charge from the downtown Marriott.
$247.
I asked her about the hotel charge later that night, like it was no big deal.
She didn't hesitate for even half a second.
Oh, that was Ava's bachelorette party, she said. We booked a room so nobody had to drive home drunk.
Ava had been married for 2 years. She paused, eyes flicking away for a beat. Different Ava. I gave her a small nod and let it go. No argument. No follow-up questions.
But the moment she walked out of the room, I pulled out my phone and took a screenshot of the statement.
That was the moment I stopped guessing and started keeping records.
I didn't hire a private investigator.
I didn't need one. I'm a systems engineer. Digging through data is literally my job.
Our cell phone plan had a shared location feature. Emily had set it up years earlier so we could keep each other safe.
I'd never touched it. Never had a reason to. Until then. At first, I checked it casually. Just curiosity, I told myself. No assumptions. No accusations.
And that's when the pattern showed itself.
Every Tuesday. Every Thursday.
The night she said she was at the gym, her phone wasn't anywhere near a treadmill.
It was parked at the Marriott downtown. 2 hours at a time. Like clockwork. I didn't say a word to her about it.
I didn't confront her.
I didn't even change my behavior. I just started collecting evidence. Screenshots. Dates. Timestamps. I created a separate cloud account under a different email address and backed everything up. Quietly. Methodically. Then I waited.
In January, the acquisition finalized.
My stock options vested that same week. After taxes, the $2.25 million turned into roughly $1. For millions sitting in my account. I didn't celebrate. I didn't tell anyone. I moved the money immediately. New bank. New account. My name only. Emily never noticed. Why would she? She'd never paid attention to our finances.
I handled the bills, the savings, the investments.
Always had. I kept showing up to work. Kept coming home at 6. Kept eating dinner across from her like everything was normal. But nothing was normal. I was planning.
I met with a lawyer in private. I think my wife is cheating, I told him.
I want to be ready when this blows up.
His name was Thomas.
Mid-50s.
Divorced twice. The kind of man who didn't need details to know where the story was going.
Do you have proof? He asked. I slid the folder across his desk. Credit card statements. Location logs. Screenshots stacked neatly in order.
He flipped through the pages without saying much, nodding slowly.
This is solid, he said finally. Very solid. So what now? You wait, he said. Let her keep going. Don't tip her off. If you can file first, great. But patience is your advantage. And the money? What money?
I explained the stock options.
The acquisition. The $1. $4 million.
His eyebrows climbed.
She doesn't know about this? No. Good, he said. Keep it that way. Michigan is an equitable distribution state. If she didn't know the money existed, she couldn't demand it. Is that legal? I asked. Ethical, he said. That's a gray area.
Legal, as long as you disclose it if directly asked, yes.
Then he leaned forward. And here's the part that matters. If she files first and doesn't ask about it, you're under no obligation to volunteer the information. I leaned back. So I just sit tight? You wait. You document. And when the timing's right, you move.
I waited another 3 months. During that stretch, Emily stopped being careful. She checked her phone less discreetly. She started coming home later and later. One night she didn't walk through the door until 2 in the morning.
Where were you? I asked. At Ava's, she said. We lost track of time. Which Ava? She hesitated. Does it matter? I guess not. Later, I checked the tracking app. Her phone had been at the Marriott again. I added the entry to the file. Then came the Tuesday that ended everything. I was supposed to be at work until 6, same as always. But at 2 in the afternoon, a pipe burst in the building. Water pouring everywhere. Management sent us home early. I texted Emily. Heading home early.
Pipe burst at work.
No response. I didn't think much of it. She was probably at the gym. Except when I checked the app. Her phone was at home. At 2:47 p.m. I pulled into the driveway.
Her car was there. The front door was unlocked. Then I heard the sound upstairs. Standing in my bedroom, staring at Lucas crammed into my closet, something unexpected settled over me.
Calm.
This was the moment I'd been preparing for, even if I hadn't admitted it to myself.
Emily was crying behind me. Daniel, please. I can explain. Explain what? I said, staring straight ahead. Why, there's a half-naked man hiding in my closet. It's not, I didn't. How long?
6 months, she said. I turned to her slowly.
6 months, I repeated. The entire time.
She nodded, tears spilling down her face.
And when were you planning to tell me? I didn't know how. You didn't know how to say you were sleeping with someone else?
She flinched. I walked past her and went downstairs into the kitchen. She followed close behind.
Where are you going? To get a drink. Daniel, please, we need to talk. No, I said, opening the fridge and grabbing a beer. We really don't. I opened it and took a long swallow.
She stood there trembling.
What are you going to do? I looked at her. Really looked at her. 8 years of marriage. 8 years of thinking we were building something together. And she'd spent half a year dismantling it behind my back.
I'm going to finish this beer, I said.
Then I'm packing a bag. Then I'm leaving. Leaving? Yes. For how long? Forever. Her face collapsed. Daniel, please. Emily, I said evenly, my voice almost emotionless.
You cheated on me for 6 months.
You brought him into our home. Into our bed. Into our closet. I know, she cried. I'm so sorry. I don't care. She froze. What? I don't care that you're sorry. I don't care that you're crying. I don't care about any of it. I set the beer down and went upstairs. I packed quickly. Clothes. Toiletries. Laptop. Emily followed me from room to room, begging. We can fix this. We can go to counseling. I'll end it with Lucas, I swear. His name is Lucas? I said, almost amused. You threw away 8 years for a guy named Lucas? It's not about him. Then what is it? She opened her mouth. Closed it. You don't even know, I said. I zipped the bag, walked downstairs, and grabbed my keys. Daniel, please. I stopped at the door and turned around. My lawyer will be in touch. Your lawyer? Yes. About the divorce. Her face went white. You're not even going to try? Try what? I said. Try to forgive you? Try to rebuild trust? You had 6 months to try. You chose him. I opened the door. I'll be at a hotel. Don't call me. I got in my car and drove away. I didn't go to a hotel. I went straight to Thomas's office. She cheated, I said. I caught them in my house. Thomas leaned back. Do you have proof? I have him in my closet, I said. On my Ring camera. I showed him the footage. The doorbell camera caught Lucas arriving at 1:30 p.m. and leaving at 3:15. Half-dressed. Running for his car. Thomas watched the footage all the way through. When it ended, he leaned back in his chair and smiled. This is strong, he said. Really strong. So what happens now? I asked.
We file tomorrow, he said without hesitation. And we don't go small. We go for everything. Everything? The house. The vehicles. We cite adultery and put her on the defensive from day one. And the money? I asked. What money? Thomas said, smiling again. She didn't know it existed. That meant it wasn't part of the conversation. We filed the next morning. Emily was served at work, right in the middle of her day, with her co-workers watching. She called me 17 times. I didn't answer a single one. She texted, "We need to talk." I replied, "Talk to my lawyer." 2 days later, her attorney called Thomas. My client would like to discuss a settlement. I'm listening, Thomas said. She's offering a 50-50 split, the lawyer said. Each keeps their own car. The house is sold, proceeds divided. No, Thomas replied. A pause. No? My client is keeping the house. Given your client's infidelity, we believe that's reasonable. Another pause. She can't afford to buy him out. Then she can move. Silence again. We'll need to review his financials, her lawyer said. Of course, Thomas replied smoothly. Tax returns, pay stubs, bank statements. All accounts? All marital accounts, Thomas said carefully. The stock option account wasn't marital. It was mine. Earned before the marriage, vested during it, and never mixed with joint funds. Emily's lawyer didn't know to ask. The divorce dragged on for 4 months. Emily fought for the house and lost. She pushed for alimony and lost again. She tried to claim I'd hidden money. Thomas showed that every dollar in our joint accounts was accounted for down to the cent. The stock account never came up. Because she never knew it existed. In the end, she walked away with her car, her retirement account, and half the furniture. I kept the house. My car. My freedom. And the $1. 4 million she never knew about. 6 months after the divorce was finalized, I sold the house. I couldn't live there anymore. Too many memories. Too many reminders. I bought a small condo downtown instead. Clean lines. Modern. No spare rooms. No closets big enough to hide a man. I quit my job and started consulting. Set my own hours. Took only the projects I wanted. I traveled. Italy. Japan. New Zealand. All the trips Emily and I used to talk about doing someday. Except now I was doing them alone. And honestly? It was better that way. A year after the divorce, I got a message on LinkedIn. It was from Lucas. Hey man. I know this is weird, but I wanted to apologize. What happened was wrong. I'm sorry. I stared at the message for a long time. Then I typed back, did she cheat on you too? 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Came back. Yeah. 2 months after you guys split. I laughed out loud. I couldn't help it. Sorry to hear that, I replied. But I'm not surprised. Yeah. I should have known, he wrote. Anyway, thanks for replying. Good luck. I closed the app and realized something surprised me. I wasn't angry anymore. I just felt free. 2 years after the divorce, I met someone new. Her name was Hannah. She was a teacher. Divorced. 1 kid. 0 drama. We met at a coffee shop. She bumped into my table and spilled her latte all over my laptop. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, she said. It's fine, I laughed. It's waterproof. She insisted on buying me another coffee anyway. We ended up talking for 2 hours. She didn't ask what I did for work. Didn't ask how much I made. She talked about books. About her son. About how weird dating feels after divorce.
I liked her immediately. We went on a second date. Then a third. On the fourth, she asked, "So, what's your story? Why did your marriage end?" I thought about dodging the question, keeping it vague. But I didn't. "She cheated," I said. "I caught her." I laughed. Hannah nodded. "Mine too," she said. "Except I didn't catch him. His girlfriend called me." "Ouch," I said. "Yeah." We sat there quietly for a moment. Two people who'd been burned. Trying to decide if trust was still possible. "I'm not looking for perfect," she said finally. "Just honest." "I can do honest," I said. And I meant it. 3 years after the divorce, my phone rang from an unknown number. I almost ignored it. But something made me answer. "Hello? Daniel?" I knew the voice instantly. "Emily. What do you want?" "I just wanted to talk." "There's nothing to talk about." "Please," she said. "Just 5 minutes." I sighed. "Fine. 5 minutes." There was a long pause. "I'm sorry," she said. "For everything. For Lucas. For lying. For hurting you. Okay. I know I don't deserve forgiveness." "You're right," I said. "You don't." Another pause. "I heard you're seeing someone," she said. "Are you happy?" "Why do you care?" "I don't know. I just wanted to make sure you were." I almost laughed. "I've been happy for 3 years," I said. "Since the day I left." Silence. "I have to go," I said. "Daniel, wait." "Goodbye, Emily." I hung up. And felt nothing. No anger. No resentment. No sadness. She was just a finished chapter. And I was okay with that. 4 years after the divorce, Hannah and I got married. Small ceremony. Just family and close friends. Her son, Noah, was the ring bearer. 8 years old. Took the job very seriously. At the reception, my dad pulled me aside. "You did good, son," he said. "Thanks, Dad. I mean it. You handled everything with Emily with class. A lot of men wouldn't have." I shrugged. "I had a plan." He laughed and shook his head. "Yeah," he said. "You always did." We stood there for a moment, watching Hannah spin Noah around on the dance floor. He was laughing so hard he could barely stay on his feet. "She's good for you," my dad said quietly. "Yeah," I said. "She really is." "You ever tell her about the money?" "I did," I said. "Last year." "And?" She said, "That's nice. Can you still take out the trash?" My dad laughed. "Yeah," he said. "She's a keeper." She was. 5 years after the divorce, I got one last message from Emily. It was short. Polite. Almost formal. "I heard you got remarried. Congratulations. I hope you're happy." I stared at the screen for a full minute before replying. Then I typed back. "I am. I hope you are too." I hit send. And that was it. Not because I forgave her. Not because I forgot what she did. But because holding on to anger is like swallowing poison and waiting for someone else to suffer. And I was done poisoning myself. I'd spent 5 years building a new life. A better one. And Emily wasn't part of it. So here's what I learned. When you catch your wife cheating, you have two paths in front of you. One is loud. You explode. You scream. You break things. You let the moment consume you. The other is quiet. You stay calm. You document everything. You think ahead. You plan your exit. I chose the quiet one. And it saved me. Not just financially, though the $1. 4 million didn't hurt, but emotionally. Because I refused to let her chaos become my chaos. I didn't let her betrayal define who I was. I didn't let it turn me bitter or reckless or small. I just walked away. And that, more than anything else, was the best revenge. If you've ever been betrayed. If you've ever had to rebuild from nothing. If you've ever chosen yourself after someone failed to choose you. This story is for you. Comment "I chose me" if this hit home. Subscribe for more stories about the quiet power of walking away. Because sometimes, when you find someone hiding in your closet, the strongest move isn't confrontation. It's closing the door and never looking back.